You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump melts down at shaky ABC anchor reporting on latest reflecting pool saga based on an article by Daniel Hampton. Trump's pool rant is really a power rant. The news Trump hated. ABC reported a simple fact: the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool had been drained again, with crews dealing with peeling paint and algae blooms. Trump responded with a familiar tactic to scream fake news, invent a cleaner villain, and try to overwrite the record before the public notices the real failure. Who controls the story? Trump is not a commentator throwing rocks from the sidelines. He is the president, and the institutional power in this story sits with him and the government he runs. He does not merely react to coverage. He uses the presidency to set the terms of blame, demand compliance, and punish media outlets that refuse to flatter him. ABC, by contrast, is the target. David Muir's brief report described a broken public asset. Trump turned that into a loyalty test. That is the point of the outburst, not to clarify the cause, but to intimidate the messenger and replace evidence with assertion. The real failure was administrative. The source points to a far uglier explanation than Trump's theatrical vandalism story. Government documents reviewed by the New York Times found cuts unrelated to the peeling coating or the green water. Witnesses reportedly saw no sign of the 350-foot gash Trump keeps describing. Meanwhile, the administration may have worsened the damage itself by pouring hydrogen peroxide to kill algae, which reportedly stripped the fresh paint. That is not a mystery. It is a management collapse. $14 million plus job was rushed to meet a 4th of July deadline and turned green within days. That is what incompetence looks like when it gets dressed up as patriotism. Scapegoat first. Explain never. Trump's language does two jobs at once. It protects the people who rush the project, and it redirects blame toward an imagined saboteur. That is the standard move of failed power: treat self-inflicted damage as outside attack and call anyone who notices it dishonest. The arrests only sharpen the political pattern. At least 5 people have been charged, including former Olympian David Hean, who has pleaded not guilty and says he is being scapegoated. Whether guilt or innocence holds up in court. The larger point is already visible. The state wants a culprit, and the president wants a story. Neither wants accountability for the rushed work that failed in public. The media angle is a distraction. Trump has long been at war with ABC, and the $16 million defamation settlement the network paid him in 2024 only made the dynamic more corrosive. He knows he can use media coverage as a substitute battlefield, because that is cheaper than owning the failure itself. So he attacks the network, calls the reporting fake, and tries to convert a maintenance fiasco into a grievance performance. That works only if the press accepts the premise that Trump's outrage is the main event. It is not. The main event is a government that rushed a vanity project, may have damaged it further, and now wants to hide behind noise. The pattern. This is how authoritarian politics handles embarrassment that personalizes blame, manufactures enemies, and insists that control of the narrative counts as proof of competence. The reflecting pool matters less than the mechanism around it. A president with real power cannot fix a problem cleanly, so he attacks the people describing it and demands that everyone admire the line instead. The pool is a small example. The method is the larger one to govern badly, accuse loudly, and hope the public mistakes domination for control. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Roar Story for today's article. With the automated voice of Norman, thanks for listening.